ignorance. Ignorance. We all know what ignorance means. That's how I've been being mad at coffee. We talk about the farmer picking it. We talk about the way they process it. And then we get the coffee from an importer. They carefully curate, select it. Then a person like me roasts the coffee. And then a person like you brews the coffee. But we stop there. Ignorance is all around us. I would challenge you to really look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I do need to be better. The topic today is about ignorance. Ignorance. We all know what ignorance means. Ignorance means you don't know. You're not privy to it. You don't know about situations and things, right? That's more so the definition that we are dealing with right now. And yeah, so I've been thinking about it for the past couple of days. And I think it's going to be a critical part about this year. I don't know really what that may mean, but I guess what I'm saying is that we are all ignorant in our ways in our lives, right? And in this case, the ignorance that I'm really talking about is coffee knowledge, coffee, recipes, understanding, I'm not even talking about roasting right now. That's another ignorance of another kind. But in this case, what I'm really talking about is the brewing aspect of coffee, the understanding of flavor and taste and everything, and how relevant it is to us. Because we love the taste of coffee. Either we drink it as a black coffee, undoctored, or we doctor it, or we put spirits in it or whatnot. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we want the best product for us to enjoy and to love and to care for. For however many times during that day that we actually drink and enjoy it, right? I got some humble pie thrown to me a couple of days ago when I did a video that video will come out eventually too. And I was talking about third wave water and how water really isn't that big of a deal. And I've given up a long time ago about this whole third wave water chemistry and all this stuff, right? But I thought it would be a cool idea to bring up in this case for a video. And I was shocked and I was amazed how different coffee can be truly when you put all the pieces together. A lot of times whenever I roast, I brew, and I analyze, I wonder how well I did with that particular roast. The key indicator here is the actual brew, the actual drink that I'm partaking in for that whatever reason. And I've mentioned this before to where I have been disappointed with coffee for a very long time. I don't think I'm off, but I think it's very important that I give everything with context so you understand where I'm really coming from. And in this case, it was without third wave water. It was just a filtered coffee coming from my fridge filter. That's how I've been drinking coffee. That's how I've been being mad at coffee. That's how I've been at times enjoying coffee. And throughout this whole process, one of the things that until a couple of days ago, I didn't think that was a big deal, is that I haven't been putting everything together because all of it truly, really matters. And when I tasted that coffee, I realized that I was in an ignorant state of mind, of understanding, in getting to the point to where I don't understand coffee. And I guess what I'm saying really is that I've been naive with the whole process of truly, really getting the best cup of coffee out of all the stuff that I have. And to me, especially when you're talking about specialty coffee, but let's just talk about coffee in general. People spend money on coffee no matter what. We all have our vices, right? But how something of so simpleness of buying a package of minerals and getting distilled water to make sure that my whole coffee experience is truly magical, truly amazing, and I can really judge and enjoy that coffee for what it really is at the best that it can be. I'm doing a disservice to myself, and I'm also doing a disservice to you. Have you tried third wave water? Have you thought about what makes sense to you, what doesn't make sense to you when you brew a cup of coffee? Have you ever thought that the coffee sucked and it was because of the actual coffee? Have you made sure that you took care of all the parameters in the whole chain? Because we talk a lot about the processing, the way coffee is, right? We talk about it being on a tree. We talk about climate. We talk about the farmer picking it. We talk about the way they process it. And then we get the coffee from an importer. They carefully curate, select it. Then a person like me roasts the coffee. And then a person like you brews the coffee. But we stop there. And I think it's extremely important that we understand that we can make sure that our coffee, no matter which coffee that we do have, tastes the best that it can. Especially when it's in our hands. Because I kind of joke at times about the whole thing about once it leaves me, which it is true. Once the coffee is in the stores, once the coffee is in your place of establishment of where you live and where you brew your cup of coffee, that coffee's yours. Because for a while now, many months, even to a year now, of me just kind of getting to the point of really truly seeing if it's the coffee or not, is that I was putting myself in an ignorant state of mind. And when I keep the mind at a place to where it's not growing, that's a problem. Because we're not truly, really putting ourselves in a light to where we are enjoying this beverage that we love so much. Even to the point, like, I'll give you another example about the whole ignorance thing. It's not just about the water. Like, I just got a new kettle. I didn't need a new kettle. I got one of the top of the line fellow kettles. The one that I use currently, there's no problem with it. It works. You know, it has buttons and everything. It's easy to hold things. You can even do like timers and all that stuff and all that good stuff, right? But when I made my first cup of coffee out the fellow coffee kettle gooseneck, I was really surprised how something simple of like me pouring the coffee and how the gooseneck is even better than the Bonavita gooseneck that I have. Like supreme control of pouring, which is amazing. It feels great into the hands. And then when I set that temperature and put the kettle back on the proper stand, it holds the temperature. I don't have to keep pushing another button. So by me being naive and to seeing or knowing what's out there, I'm not saying that you need to buy everything that's brand new and top of the line. I'm not saying that, but the things that you don't know how much of a hindrance it may be for you when you're in this experience of drinking a cup of coffee. Ignorance is all around us. And I think one of the biggest things that I'm planning to do is to uncover as much ignorance as I can. Because I'm not going to lie to you, the past couple of days, My coffee's been tasting sublime, amazing. I even tried this recipe out the AeroPress with the one-way valve connection. 10-minute brew on the light and medium roast and the dark roast. Absolutely amazing. I can taste the clarity. I can taste different things that I wasn't tasting in these coffees. That's what a combination of the water. And now it's kind of just putting me back in a place to the point to where I'm like, wow, this is crazy shit. I try to be better with cursing, but I'm really passionate about what I'm talking about right now because I don't know if you've gone through that. I don't know if, hopefully, that if you do have a great cup of coffee, that you're making sure that you've touched all the elements that you actually touch. So let's say you have a bag of coffee, right? Okay. What about your kettle? Doesn't have to be a fancy kettle, but you have a kettle in order for you to make your cup of coffee, right? What about the water? Because we care about the other little gadgets here and there. That matters here and there from time to time. Right. Have we thought about the way we stir the coffee? Have we thought about the grinder that we're using? You know, all these little pieces of the pie that we already know, but at times we get in a rut of just doing the same thing over and over again and not realizing what we're ignorant about when it comes to this coffee making thing. And I know I sound like a crazy guy talking this so passionately about coffee, but that's where we're at right now. Unraveling the whole ignorance part of this whole thing. Because at the end of the day, we just want to taste amazing coffee. That's all we want. We can brew it so many different ways, and we can probably taste other things that we could have never imagined in this cup of coffee. Those are the things that I am going to try to do my best in order to give you the information that you need in this. Because we can judge the coffee for what it is, objectively. But let's really put it through its paces and get the coffee the best possible chance of exciting us. Then we can talk about troubleshooting. We can talk about different recipes. We can talk about all that good stuff. But if we're not talking about the foundation, the real true foundation of specialty coffee, good beans, right? We already know that. Decent equipment that allows us to replicate the brews that we're trying to do. Great grinders. Doesn't have to be crazy expensive again. As long as the grind is uniform and when we're drinking the cup of coffee, we can pick out some of those elements that are on the bag or for whatever that we're really tasting in a cup. And then the water. Don't forget about the water. It's a big deal. It's truly a real big deal. I'm going to go into this whole rabbit hole of trying out different water chemistries and all that stuff. I don't really care how it's really done. I shouldn't say that because I'm an engineer too by training. But I guess what I'm saying here is that we have to make sure that we give the coffee the best chance possible in order to wow us. If it sucks then, it sucks then. But the coffee that we're probably drinking is actually pretty good. And this is somebody coming from the point of view of wanting as many people to buy my coffee. So let's just take a step back, analyze the whole coffee chain. That video will be coming out soon too. It actually needs to be updated, but whatever. Analyzing the whole coffee chain and seeing if there's anything that we may be lacking in. Something that we're curious about, ignorant about, something that we haven't tried in a long time, something that somebody has said something about, we totally pushed it under the rug. Let's get really deep into this passion of ours to truly, really love and enjoy the things that we're trying to do here. Because I think that's part of really what we're trying to do. We're trying to enjoy it for what it truly is. Think about it. You can start having fun with temperatures and different grind sizes and different combinations or whatever the hell you want to do to see if you can taste something different in that exact same bag of coffee. It's there. It's possible. Let's continue that notion. And I guess I did something smart last year, which is of all the coffees that I finished and all that stuff, and the majority of them, I went ahead as a green coffee, I froze them. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to unfreeze them and we're going to introduce these coffees again with all the knowledge that we have right now and explore and love and see what these coffees truly, really are. Once we make sure that we are giving these coffees the best chance to shine and wow us. That's the journey that I'm a part of. And I hope that you are part of that too. So this is me just talking, rambling, but let me know what you think about this. Have you taken care of the whole coffee chain? Do you feel that you're ignorant in any aspect of this whole coffee brewing thing that you do each and every day, multiple times a day? I will challenge you to really look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I do need to be better. I do need to see things through. I do need to be in the light to where I am giving this coffee the best chance possible in order for me to see how magical it truly, really is. And then we can truly, really understand all coffees, the goods, the bad, the things that we don't like about it. And through our palates and through instruments, we can be a better coffee brewer, and we can start to educate and tell people why coffee is truly amazing. That's where I'm at. So that's me, Oki at Everyday Being, signing off. Let me know what you think. I may sound like a crazy man, but this is me just talking, right? So talk to you later. Bye.